Hello everybody, it is I, your sensual songstress, hannahvonstevens, and today I am coming to you from my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very delicious and delicate cinnamon roll. So stick around and I hope you came hungry.
Okay, so this is a very long and involved process. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to do, so I'm just going to put the ingredients on the screen so that you can see them and refer back to them if you need to. I'm starting out by putting 5 cups of BISQUICK in a large bowl. Once you have your BISQUICK in the bowl, then you can take 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar and add that to the mix. And then you're going to add about 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar or you can use dark brown sugar. I use dark brown sugar because it's all that they had at the store. And finally, you're going to add a tablespoon of cinnamon. Give it that signature flavor. Next, take a fork and just stir that to get rid of any large lumps. You're not going to get all the lumps out, but make it as smooth as you can. Once it's pretty smooth, you can go ahead and set that aside and we'll work on the liquid portion of our dough. Now what I have here in this bowl is 1 cup of milk and 1/2 cup of soft butter. And to that mixture, I am going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and I am also going to add 1 large egg. Now I just stir that together, incorporating the butter and the egg into the milk. And once that's nice and smooth, I'm going to take that and add it to my dry mixture. Now you're supposed to add this slowly. I just dumped mine in because this is my first time ever doing this. I made a few mistakes, but it was definitely a learning experience. And I am looking forward to doing these, making these cinnamon rolls again in the near future. And just mix that all up. And once it's got a nice consistency, you're going to go ahead and flour your countertop and put that dough out on your countertop, and you are going to knead it until it's nice and smooth. Don't over knead it. I would fold it maybe, between 30 and 40 times, no more than that. You don't want to overwork your dough. A good rule of thumb is once you've got it in a nice ball, if you press your hand on it, the dough should bounce back ever so slightly. All right, now that we've got that done, I'm going to grease a large clean bowl with one of my butter wrappers. I'm going to place that dough in the bowl for it to rise. I'm going to put some saran wrap on top of it, place it in a nice warm area of your kitchen, and just let it rise for 1 hour. All right, we set that aside, and now we're going to work on our filling. The first part of our filling is going to be bananas, and I'm going to take 2 bananas, and looking back, I would use 3 or 4 bananas because I didn't feel like there was enough banana in the mixture. But what you are going to do is you're going to peel your bananas and then cut them into nice little bite-sized pieces. Once you get them cut, just place them in a bowl and set them aside because you're going to get back to that in just a few minutes. All right, now I'm going to put 1/2 cup of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar in a medium saucepan. I'm going to put it on a medium heat and add 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And then over that medium heat, we're just going to let it all melt together. All right, once it gets about that consistency right there, You're going to go ahead and add your bananas in. Cook those until they're nice and tender. Now, while they're cooking, I just went ahead and poured myself a glass of wine because this has been a journey so far and a learning experience, and I needed to take the edge off. So once you see your filling mixture start to bubble about like this and your bananas are tender, you can go ahead and take those off of the heat and put them in a bowl. And then you can place that into your refrigerator to cool for about 15 to 20 minutes while you roll out your dough. Now that the dough has risen for about an hour, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of flour on top, and then I'm going to sprinkle my countertop with flour as well because we don't want the dough sticking to everything. So go ahead and take that out, press it flat onto the surface of your countertop to a general square shape, generally square. Take your rolling pin and roll it out. And try to get it as square as possible. I took a spatula and kind of pressed my sides in to try to make it as square as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty square. Once you get it rolled out into a nice square shape, we're going to add our filling. So go ahead and run over to the refrigerator, grab your filling, and just place that on top of the dough. Some people like to spread butter on their dough before they put the filling in. My filling was already really, really buttery, so I didn't feel like I needed to do that. Once you get that spread over the surface evenly, we're going to take some crushed walnuts and sprinkle those on top as well. All right, once you have your walnuts and your filling all spread on there evenly, we are going to roll this into a tube shape. So it's kind of hard to work with. It's a really soft dough, and then the filling is soft as well. So it's it was a struggle there at the beginning, but once it gets going, it works out all right. Once you get that rolled up all the way, you're going to use a thread, or you can use dental floss and just place it underneath, cut it, put it into a greased baking pan and let that rise for 1 hour. And after they've risen, you're going to bake them in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. And while those are baking, we're going to go ahead and make our icing mixture, and that consists of 2 cups of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and a tablespoon of milk. Now when you're stirring this up and mixing it together, it's going to seem like there's not enough liquid in there, but if you just keep stirring it, it's going to turn into the most creamy, delicious icing that you have ever seen or tasted in your life. And it's so delicious. So once our cinnamon rolls have baked in the oven at 350 for 25 minutes, we're going to let them cool for about 5 minutes, and then we are going to ice those cinnamon rolls.
Now that is guaranteed to satisfy any man's sweet tooth. I want to thank you all for coming with me on this journey. This is the first time that I have ever attempted to make cinnamon rolls, as you can tell. They're pretty good. There are a few things that I would do differently, but you know, overall, I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really proud of the fact that they're actually edible. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the notification button as well, so that you'll know when I'm uploading content. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know your tips and tricks on making cinnamon rolls. And until next time, stay safe. Good. Hello everybody, it's... Now that is guaranteed to... If you haven't subscribed yet... Shit.